Before this week's highlights begins, I just want to pay my condolences to Jacob Braksavojevic and his family during this tough time. We recently got the news during the Bahrain Grand Prix itself that his grandmother sadly passed away from the ongoing virus that's caused this pandemic at the moment. I can't say the C word, unfortunately, because YouTube will, well, you know. I also want to take this time to also pay my condolences to Bruno de Barros' family as well, because I was meant to say this during the Chinese Grand Prix, but it sadly slipped out of my mind. His mother sadly passed away as well, so my condolences go out to the Bratstizovic family and the de Barros family during this terrible time, and yeah, these highlights are dedicated to your family. Enjoy the Bahrain Grand Prix highlights.
Round 3 of the GP4 OC 2017 season takes place here at the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first of 3 night races on the GP4 OC calendar, with the circuit itself being built on a formal camel farm, which is in the middle of a desert. Who would have guessed that? 6 teams have won here over the past 10 years. 5 of the 6 layouts on the circuit are FIA Grade 1, which means they can host F1, pretty much that's what it means. Previous winners here, as you can see, Alex Southgate's won, we've had Volker, Waze Cooper, Miklos Gal. We've had a number of people that have won here over the past few seasons. Of course, last year was won by Jay McKenzie in the Mercedes. The circuit, obviously, length is 5.412 kilometres, 15 corners, the lap record set by Waze Cooper back in 2014, 129.224. Now, one of the few lap records which wasn't done in 2009. Which is quite unbelievable. As you can see, there was a big crash last season. The tyres we'll be using for this race will be the soft tyres. And the driver of the day from last time in China was a joint one between Franco Lopez and Thierry Tiernan, who both performed extremely well. Lopez finishing 3rd, and now Tiernan finishing 4th. So here's the starting grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And on the front row, it is a Mercedes 1-2. Will Neller in first position, followed by Jay McKenzie in second. On the second row of the grid, Joseph Willis for Ferrari and Miklos Gal for Red Bull. Good qualifying by Miklos Gal. 5th is Amar Kar. 6th is Roland Moyton. A better qualifying from the Hungarian driver. Not so far been Williams' greatest start to the season. 7th is Florian Volker. 8th is Rick Jan for Ferrari and Force India respectively. On row 5 of the grid, we have Franco Lopez and Thierry Tiernan, once again performing well so far this season. On the 6th row of the grid, we have the 2 Toro Rossos, Frank Gamba and Michael Mocho. Mocho finished in the 5th last time out from the back of the grid in China. Evan Byrne in 13th position, followed by Julius Anderson for Williams in 14th. He's so far retired from the first 2 races of the season. Joel Husser in 15th position for Haas. 16th place is Paulino Tomaselli for Sauber. 17th and 18th are Oliver Glazebrook and Roberto Gamba for McLaren. On the 9th row, or the 10th row of the grid I should say, is George Roque and Etienne Jones. Roque, who's so far yet to qualify higher than 19th position on his return. And on the back row of the grid we have Nicolas Pascali and Felix Sontag for Sauber. So that's the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and of course, no surprise, 0% chance of rain, although we did have rain in the GP2 race, surprisingly enough, where the track was wet, I think, pretty much throughout, or it only got dry at the end. But nonetheless, this is not GP2, this is Formula 1, as the 5 lights are now coming on for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 5 lights are on, who's going to get the jump into turn 1 as we're underway for the Bahrain Grand Prix under the lights. And it looks like Nello's made a great start. Mackenzie has been an awful start. He's dropped at least 2 places, possibly even 3, heading up into the first corner. Willows is up into second, can't quite make it past Nella into the first corner. And there's a car that is trying to attempt to cut the corner there. It's Glazebrook, but he's not going anywhere. And there's a wheel flying around. That's probably from his car. So it looks like Glazebrook is out on the first corner. So what has happened, Oliver Glazebrook? Is he the only one involved? By the looks of it, it is. Berta Gamba has got through. Felix Sontag has got damage. So Glazebrook is the only one out at turn 1. There usually is something that happens at turn 1 in Bahrain. There's debris flying about all over the place. Roberta Gamba's got damage. Has anyone else got damage? Hasn't anyone else? I can't quite see. And there was. And Joel Hutter for Haas has got damage as well. So what a nightmare start. So let's have a look at what happened coming into the first corner. So Glazebrook himself has got a decent start. Was heading up into the first corner, and he must have got hit from behind. And yes, he does. Gets hit from behind. By the looks of it, must be Felix Sontag, who himself had actually made a good start himself. Getting a few positions. Unfortunately, Glazebrook came in front of him there, and he actually made contact, I think, with his teammate there. I think Sontag. Here's the onboard from Joel Hutter, who himself also made a decent start coming into the first corner. Who did he make contact with? Oh, he went into the back of the Force India there. We're in the back of the Force India of, I think that is, I'm pretty sure that's Franco Lopez. It is Franco Lopez. So Franco Lopez, following his 3rd last time out in China, is going to have to go into the pits on the first lap. But here's the battle for 7th. Volker trying desperately to get through past Rick Yan into the final corner, and he can't quite make it stick there. Now that gives Tiernan a run, and he's going to try and pass Volker into the first corner. Look at the run he's got because of Volker holding himself up, trying to pass Yan. Side by side between Tiernan and Volker heading towards turn 1. You can see the power of the Ferrari. It's trying to edge back ahead of Tiernan, but he's not going to be able to make it stick, surely. Although Tiernan may have made that overtake under yellow flags if he does make it stick. And he has. And I think that's going to be a penalty for Tiernan there, because he has just done that under yellow flags. And you can see clearly yellow flags out. So, yep, he's receiving a 5-second time penalty for overtaking Volker under yellow flags. Not good for the Thai driver, and it looks like Michael Mocho might have done the same thing on his teammate Franco Gamba here, and yes, he does. Clearly goes past Franco Gamba under yellow flags to move up into 10th position, so he gets a 5-second time penalty as well. As we're looking at Volker now trying to make another move on the inside, and now turning into the final corner to get back. Will he make the move stick? The answer is yes, he does. That was pretty easy. Moves back up into 8th, and now he'll go back after Rick Yan ahead of him, although will Tiernan try and move back into turn 1. I don't think he's quite close enough, so I think Volker does have the move done. Now here is the battle for 3rd between Mackenzie and Gal. The front 2, Willows and Nella, have got away. Gal is holding up Mackenzie at the moment, so he already moves to the right there. So it's going to affect his drive out of the corner, surely. And the answer is it does. And and there's a car that is smoking, and that is Franco Gamba, who is out of the race. And Franco Gamba, his race is done and dusted on lap 3. And that was coming into the first corner there. So he had just been overtaken by Mocho for 10th. And unfortunately, he's paid the price for it now. The engine has let go on him. So it's his race over on lap 3 of the Grand Prix. That rhymes there. But unfortunately for Franco Gamba, not what he wanted. And it was a water leak, in fact, that has caused his retirement, as you can see there. So as his car does finally get pushed away, he was running 11th. He dropped a bit off Michael Mocho, actually, even though he doesn't have that much fuel. But then, as we look at him coming towards the support pit straight, that is where the problem has occurred, and that's where it looks like the car started to go past him. Yet Tomaselli goes past him there, and looks like Evan Byrne, of course. Later on the lap is when it eventually lets go. And yet, coming round the penultimate corner of the circuit, turn 14, is where it officially lets go, and that is his race over. So now we are looking at the battle for P3. This is between Mackenzie and Gal. Mackenzie has got the run off the final corner. He's in the slipstream, and surely he's going to make the move into turn 1. He's now trying to make a move on the inside of Gal. He's not quite getting alongside, although Gal is moving across. He's really defending. Mackenzie's still going to try and do it on the inside. Gal goes very deep. Has Mackenzie done it? And the answer is no, he doesn't. He can't make it stick there. That's going to allow Carr to possibly make a move on the inside. Carr's got the run. Mackenzie trying to make a move on the inside. Gal really defending. Mackenzie's on the inside. Has he got it done? I'm not sure. There was almost contact. Just about side by side there. And Mackenzie could get overtaken by Carr here. He got a terrible run off the corner. It's side by side through the S's section. And he's done it. Carr has moved up into 4th position. So Mackenzie has really, really lost out on these first 5 laps. He made a terrible start, dropped down to 4th. He's been stuck behind Gal, attempted to get past him, and he couldn't, and he's paid the price. So here he is again. So coming into the first corner, I thought Mackenzie might get it there. He just didn't quite have the momentum off the corner. You can see Gal's got a lot of fuel, so it's probably why he's so slow. Then Mackenzie was on the inside into turn 4, and how they didn't make contact, I've no idea. And here is the view from Roland Moichin, who is just watching these guys battling out ahead of them. And you can see Carr and Mackenzie side by side, and Carr makes it through. Mackenzie must be fuming with himself that this... I mean, the start of the race for him has gone pretty much exactly how he didn't want it to go. He's been stuck behind Gal, couldn't get past him. Now Carr gets past him, and now he's got Roland Moichin for company, who is on quite light fuel as well, so it probably explains why he's actually very quick so far in this race. Here is Lopez and Joel Hutter, and Lopez, who's just got past Joel Hutter into the final corner, up into 17th position. Now here's a battle for P3 once again, and the problem is with Gal holding up Carr and Mackenzie, they're dropping behind, although I think I just saw Nella might be in the pits actually, so it looks like they're going on a 3-stop strategy, so it's going to be interesting to see. But Carr's stuck behind his teammate Gal. He's surely going to make the move into turn 1. I wonder if there'll be team orders, but Carr is just about getting alongside Gal. I imagine he'll make the move. You can see Nella just coming out of his pit box there after his stop. Carr's on the inside, and does he make it stick? Yes, he does. So that's him up into P3. Mackenzie is still under pressure from Moichin, although Gal's got a terrible run off the corner there. Now as they come through into turn 3, surely, or turn 4, surely he's got the move done. And yes, he has. Yes, no. But will Gal try and hold it round? Nope, Mackenzie has got it done. And he wanted to do that a few laps ago, because he wouldn't have lost so much time now. But Nella obviously has pitted, and he's come out in P9, so he's come up behind Michael Mocho and ahead of Nairo Tiranen. So the crucial thing for him, being on the 3-stops, he needs to be in clear air. Otherwise, if he's not, then, well, it's going to affect him come the end of the race, because he and Willows have got away out front from Gal, Carr and Mackenzie, and Moichin as well, actually, you could say, because he's been involved in this as well. But here was the overtake, here was the battle between Gal and Mackenzie. Obviously Mackenzie finally making it stick on Gal. Been waiting a long while to do that, but he eventually did pass him. Now here is Roland Moichin, who's going to try and make a move into the final corner, and will he try and make it? It looks like Gal doesn't really put up a defence at all. So Moichin on the inside, and has he got it? Yes. And he's up into P4. And for Mingles Gal, unfortunately, that one stop is going to really affect him, unfortunately. As we're looking at Gal right behind Moichin. Is he going to try and make the move back? Not quite close enough. Sticking in his slipstream, though. Although Moichin actually is going to be pitting this lap, as a matter of fact. So Nella currently is in a bit of clear air, although he's got Michael Mocho just in front of him. So you can see when Joseph Willows comes in. I don't know what his fuel was like, but he's got a comfortable gap, 2 Carr in front of him. As we're looking at Carr coming through the S's, he's extending the gap to Mackenzie behind him to 2 seconds. He's 15 seconds off Joseph Willows, so that's how far they've got ahead. Well, I suppose that shows the pace difference, really, and shows how slow that Gal was on his amount of fuel. He's clearly doing the 1 stop. I don't really think that's going to be the way to go. I think it's either a 2 or a 3 is going to be the way to go. I'm going to be interested to see if the 3 does work out. The moment Willows is still going. I don't know if he's pitting this lap or not. Mackenzie still got a few laps to go, so I think he'll be doing the 2. Gal, wait, I think no, that wasn't Gal. That was Moichin who's coming in this lap. Rick Jan and Florian Volker, who were having a battle earlier on. Volker, who's close to the back of Jan, and is now going to try and overtake him into the final corner. Maybe. I mean, he's got a good run through there through turn 13. As he comes up to the final corner, and he's going to try and make a move on the inside. Will Volker make it? And the answer is no. Going through turn 14 and now 15, although I mean I don't know how that counts as a corner, but anyway, Volker doesn't make it stick there, but now he's got the perfect opportunity to do it into turn 1. He's in the slipstream, 320 kilometers an hour, although he just doesn't quite have the speed, it seems, or the power, so he doesn't make a stick into the first corner. Well, there we are. Nella now closing onto the back of Michael Mocho in the Toro Rosso. He needs to get past Mocho ASAP, because I think I just saw Willows is pitting, and yes, Willows is pitting this lap, so this is a crucial lap for Will Nella. He needs to get past Mocho ASAP, because if he does, then I imagine Willows will come up behind him unless Nella's pace isn't that good. But Nella did have a I think about a 3-second gap to Willows before he stopped, so we'll see. But Volker right all over the chuff of Rick Yan, heading towards the support pits, which also is used as a drag strip as well, a little fact. As now Nella is right behind Mocho. Will he make a move coming through turn 10? And the answer is he tries to make the move. He's on the inside. And will he make the move stick? Mocho goes wide. And surely Nella's got it done, has he? The answer is yes, he has. He's got the run to Mocho. Does have to back off and let Nella through. So that was a crucial move there for Will Nella. He needed to make that stick. With Willow's pitting, it was incredibly important. And he did make it stick. So he moves up into 7th position. So now we need to see where Willows comes out the pit. So he's made his stop. So Carl will take the lead. And so Willows comes out, and Nella will take the lead. Will take the unofficial race lead back. He does come out behind Mocho. He's actually not that far behind them, though, to be honest. I'm pretty sure the gap was a little bit more than that coming out of the pits. Although maybe it was... No, actually, I'd say it was about the same, come to think of it. So Volker now coming through, still stuck behind Yan. He's been stuck behind him pretty much since the start of the race. So... as we look at Mackenzie, who is 2.5 seconds behind Carr. Now here is the battle. This is the battle for P5, but Nella is there, and he needs to get past these guys ASAP because Willows is still stuck behind Mocho. Although he's trying to make the move in the background, and he can't make a stick, so Nella's still stuck behind this. So he needs to make this move ASAP because Willows is all over the back of Mocho. And now here is Volker trying to make a move on Rick Yan. Nella is right behind there, so he needs to think about this. He needs to think logically and make the correct move. And he's now trying to go around the outside of Volker. That's never going to work. But Volker has finally got past Rick Yan. It's taken him 16 laps, but he's finally done it. But now Nella is all over the back of Rick Yan. He needs to get past him ASAP because at the moment Willows is still stuck behind Mocho. Although it'll only be for this lap because Mocho will be pitting next lap as Willows is there. And he gives Mocho a little tap there. And that's enough for him to get through. So Willows moves up into 7th position. Good move there by Willows. Just need a little love tap there, and that was enough just to knock Mocho out of the way, saying, "Get out of my way. I've got a Mercedes to chase." See, there was the tap right there. That was enough to push Mocho wide and give Willows the run he needed to get through. So, and Miguel Gal's got a problem, and Miguel Gal has got an issue. And oh dear, will he be able to make it back to the pits in time? Although this might be a blessing in disguise, because of course he was meant to be on the 1 stop, but with this stop now, he'll more or less be on the 2, I guess, I would think, unless the team fueled him a lot more. But well, he'll definitely be pitting once more after this, because there's no way that the team would put him on a strategy to go to the end. That would just be absurd. So Gal slipping down the order now, down to 8th position. Will he get to the pits? He's got 3 more corners to get there. He's passed one of them, so he's got the last 2 corners. Or corner, I don't know. They count the little dinkers. Nella still can't get past Rick Yan. This is going to really affect him because he needs to get past him ASAP because Willows is coming. As Gal looks like will make it back to the pits. And Nella, he's just not got the speed on the straight to get past. Will he make a late diving move into the first corner? And the answer is, does he make it stick? No, he doesn't. And oh, that was very close to the back of Yan's car there. And that's not going to be good because Willows is now closing right up there. This is not going well for Nella. He's been got stuck behind Volker and Yan, and he's still stuck behind them technically because Volker's got past and has gone away. And now Willows is right there in the battle for what will be the race lead. As we look at Gal, this was obviously when he suffered his problem. It was actually just in front of the battle that we saw a lap ago between Volker, Yan and Nella. And unfortunately, so he went through the whole lap there with that problem. But he managed to get back to the pits. But this is very important. This is crucial for Nella. He needs to get the move done right now because Willows is right there. This is a legitimate battle for what will be the lead. Nella, does he make it into the final corner? No, he doesn't. He does not make it into the final corner. Willows is right there. Nella, he can't make a stick. He's not got the run. And now Willows could make a move into the first corner here because Nella got a terrible exit off the corner, stuck behind Yan. And he's just about trying to get alongside. Will Willows make a dive into the first corner? And he's going for it. He's going for it, and he's done it. And Willows takes 5th position and what will be the lead of the race. And whoa, wow, that could be a crucial move in respect of this race. So Willows died very late into the first corner. I thought for a second then he was going to go into the Force India there, but fortunately he didn't. So this was the... And as we're looking at Willows trying to get past there, and he can't make it stick. But he does make it through. He still can't make it through past Jan, though. Jan is proving a very difficult driver to pass. Nella's still there, though. He's still stuck behind, so he's going to get the slipstream. He's going to push right behind Rick Jan, but there's no point because he's not going to be able to make it back past. And Jan really defending from Willows into the first corner. And was there contact? I don't know. But Willows, has he made it through? Yes! And Willows has made it through, and Nella still cannot get past that dreaded pink car in front of him. He's going to hate pink cars after this one. But Willows... Was there a tap there? No, I don't think there was. There wasn't a tap, it looked like. We'll see from Willows' point of view. But you can see Nella just trying to edge there, trying to kind of scare Willows. But it didn't scare him at all because Willows was going for it. And no, there was no contact. There was no contact. And actually, Nella's going to be fuming because it's going to be a blessed relief for him now because Rick Jan will be pitting this lap. As we look, and so close. There was no contact though. There was no contact, but Rick Jan will be pitting this lap, and he'll be still be fuming because Jan could have cost him this race, but we still got one more stop to go. Well, for them actually, it'll be two. I should say his car is coming to the pits. Nella still can't get through past Jan, but Jan's coming into the pits. So hold on. Oh my word. Well, there was nearly flashbacks to a horrendous incident a couple of seasons ago, and that nearly happened there, but that's not good for Nella at all. He's going to be having some words with Jan after this race. Mackenzie has come in, and so has Amar Khan, and of course Rick Jan has come in as well. So at the moment Florian Volker leads, but of course he's yet to make a pit stop. I don't know if he was meant to be on the one stop or not. Tomaselli right now running in P5 for Sauer, but of course he still has to pit, but it's pretty impressive. It's been a good start to the season from Tomaselli. He's performed quite well in the Sauber compared to his experienced teammate Sontag. So let's hope he keeps it up over the season. Rick Jan does come out of the pits in 13th position, so he comes out ahead of Evan Byrne, as you can see. So that's important because he's on the fresher tyres now. Byrne, although he'll be coming into the pits in a few laps' time, I think. There is a Manor actually in P8 at the moment, and I think Volker actually is going to be pitting this lap, as a matter of fact. So, and look at the gap actually that Willows has got. And we've got a Renault going slow, and that's now Tiranen, who is pulling off to the side of the track, and that is his race over. And a mechanical failure for the Thai driver means he is out of the race after having his best result in the OC last time out in China. Unfortunately, he'll be getting nothing from this one. So it was a brake failure for now Tiranen, and he just passed the pits as well, just coming across the line. And the problem occurs right about there, and there it goes, brake failure. And I mean, if you have a brake failure, that's not a good thing, that's for sure, because otherwise how are you meant to stop the car? So now Tiranen, after coming through turns 1, 2 and 3, pulls off to the side of the circuit, and that is his race over. So that is we haven't actually had many retirements from this race. Well, compared to China, we had like half the field almost out by this point last week, so I think that's actually only the second retirement of the race, I believe. As Florian Volker comes in for his first stop of the race. It looks like it will be a 2-stop for him.
Just prepare yourself for the first gear.
So Volker changes all 4 tyres. 5.8, pretty quick stop. And you can see, I think Tomaselli is coming in as well. Julius Anderson, who's right now running in P4. I don't think he's made a stop yet. He's got Jay Mackenzie right behind him, so he'll be getting past him very quickly, even though he's got more fuel. As Moitian tries to make it past Pascali into turn 1 there. Doesn't quite make it stick. And Volker's come out just ahead of Roke. I think that was in P9. No, P8 isn't it? Yes, well, Volker in P8, Roke in P9. Moitian trying to get past Pascali, who went a little bit wide there. I think he's struggling with the tyres. Car at the moment is 10.8 seconds off Will Nella, his second position, but I think he's going to be on the 2-stop compared to the two drivers in front of him on the 1-stop, as here we're looking at Nicolas Gal trying to recover his way through the field on the inside of Michael Mocho, and he makes it stick up into P11, and this is obviously Mackenzie, who must make it past the Williams of Julius Anderson, and Anderson doesn't really put up much of a fight. Mackenzie makes it stick pretty easy, into P4. I believe, I'm pretty sure Anderson hasn't pitted, so I think he'll be doing the one stop. Here is the battle for P6. Moiten's still stuck behind Pascali, and now he's got the quicker car of Volker behind him as well. There's another battle brewing behind too. Moiten still can't get past the Manor. Coming through the final corner as Roke, and there's contact between Roke and Gal coming through the final corner there, and Gal comes out right in front of the Force India there. I think that must be Rick Yan, I think. But Gal trying desperately to get past Roke. Roke was not giving him any space, and there was a fair bit of contact there. I'm surprised there was no damage done to either car there, but they got away with it nonetheless. There have been there have been many incidents at the final corner at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Ever since the OC started, there's been at least one accident, I think, every year, and some of them have been pretty spectacular. Here is Volker behind Pascali and Moitin. Will he try and make a move to the inside and get past both? The answer is no. So Moitin, I think he's finally got past Pascali, and the answer is yes, he has. And Volker, I think it's going to do the same thing. Yep, Volker finally makes it through. As Pascali, in fact, is pitting this lap. So now this is the battle between the two Williams. Moitin now trying to get past his teammate Julius Anderson, and Anderson goes wide, and that's him through, and Volker's through as well. Unfortunately, things going from bad to worse for Anderson as he's trying to get it off the dusty part of the track. But you can see on board from Volker, you can see the two Williams really battling. Anderson not wanting to give his teammate an inch, which I think is kind of not necessary because they're on different strategies at the moment. Anderson, unfortunately, is struggling badly on those tyres, and he's still got plenty of laps to go before he makes a stop. So I think he'd ideally want a car to stop, just hopefully stop and get fresher tyres, really. That's all he wants, but he's going to have to try and stay out there and make the best of it as he goes wide into the final corner, and that's going to allow Michael Moch to get through. And here is Miguel Gal, who's there as well, who can't get past. Is he going to try and stop to the inside? No, he's going to try and almost push Anderson down the straight, and he's surely not going to make it past either of those two at the moment, although Mocha gets past there. Gal's going to try and go around the outside, and he can't do it there. And now Rick Yan is there as well, so Yan could make the move stick here because Gal's got a bad run off the corner. Will Gal defend? And the answer is not really. And Yan's on the inside, and he'll make the move stick, I believe. And the answer is, does he? It's still side by side. No, I think Gal's got the run off the corner, and Gal will keep the position. So he moves up into, he keeps ninth position. Still all over the back of Julius Anderson, although he goes wide again, and Yan could try and make it through again, but no, he can't. And Evan Byrne is there as well, although he'll be pitting this lap anyway, so he'll be getting out of this battle, I suppose, wanting to jump all these guys after his stop. But this is Volker, who looks to have finally got past the Williams of Roland Moitin. And you can see, that's why Moitin locks up there and goes wide, and that allows Volker to make it through up into P5. So Moitin cracking under the pressure there from the Ferrari driver. Now into the pits comes Warnella for his second stop. So it looks like he'll be doing the 3, will he? Yes, he'll be doing the 3 stop. So out of the pits he comes. How quick is it? 7.9, not quite as quick as Ferrari. So the question is, when will Willows pit? Will be the big question. And we're looking at Anderson still defending from Gal. There's Yan there as well. Goes wide, and Gal is through. And so that's going to allow Yan through. And now Byrne, although he'll be pitting anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the battle between Anderson and Yan resumes, although Yan is pretty much past him, up into 9th position, heading towards the first corner. Getting very close. Yan trying to move over on Anderson, but he's still there, so he can't do it. So there we go. He does make it up into P9, does Rick Yan, and Anderson dropping down like a stone on those tyres that are extremely worn out as we look through the rest of the order. So Willows is not pitting this lap, so he'll I imagine he'll be pitting in probably maybe next lap or lap 28, I think. So we'll see what happens if I suppose they're trying the undercut, I guess, Mercedes. So Willows, I don't know if he'll pit next lap. I think he'll either pit next lap 27, or pit 28. I think that's when he'll do it. And in fact, it is this lap that he does decide to pit. So Willows comes in. So the question is, where will he come out in terms of Nella? So Nella needs a stellar, I suppose, out lap really to jump Willows here. So Ferrari changed tyres, put more fuel in, so he'll be on the 3 stop as well. 7.1 quicker than Mercedes. Nella's just coming around the final corner now, so I think Willows is going to stay in front. And yes, he will, because Willows has just come out the pit exit. You can see Nella just coming through, about to come past the finish line. So Willows does come out still ahead of Nella. So Nella is going to have to hope for some traffic to close up on Willows. At the moment, Willows seems to have the edge over Nella at this moment in time. So, but anything can still happen. We've still got half of this race still to go. So here's a battle for 11th position. This is between Roke and Tomaselli, heading up towards turn 1. Tomaselli alongside Roke, and he'll surely get the move done into the first corner. And the answer is yes, he does. So Tomaselli moving up right now temporarily into the points, and he'll be doing one more stop before the end. So he, I believe, is on the 2 stop. So Tomaselli doing a good job at the moment in the Sauber, doing a good job indeed. So Moyton has just come out of the pits into P13, come out just ahead of Pascali, who he's been held up by for a fair amount of the race, but unfortunately he's in a manner sandwich because he's got Jones in front of him, which is just what he wanted. So he's going to have to get past him ASAP because he's going to be sick and tired at the sight of those manners. So at the moment, Nella, what's the gap? 3.5 is to Willows at the moment, so that's about what it was. As the Williams there, Moyton trying desperately to get past Jones, he can't make it through there, so he's got an opportunity at the end of the straight here to make the move. He's right behind him. Look at the he's almost pushing him through the corner there, but if he's not in the slipstream, he's not going to be able to make the move stick into the corner. Jones defends to the inside, although Moyton will try. Nope, Jones holds the line, but of course Moyton will have the fresher tyres, and the next opportunity he'll have will be on the back straight coming right up after this corner. Just needs to stick in his slipstream, although he goes a little bit wide, Jones, and now Moyton surely is going to make the move now into the corner. Will Jones defend? And the answer is not really, but I don't think Moyton is quite there to make the move, and the answer is no, he's not, although Jones goes a bit wide, so Moyton I think might have the move done, and the answer is yes, it is. But Pascali is there as well, side by side between the two. Pascali might actually overtake both here. He's going to go on the inside of Roland Moyton, heading towards turn 1. Will Pascali make it past 2 drivers? And yes, he does. What a move by Pascali. Gets past Moyton, gets past Jones as well, and Roland Moyton, he must be absolutely fuming that he's been absolutely done into the first corner there. And great move, great racing by Pascali and by all these guys. So Pascali just saw the opportunity. We haven't seen many people trying to do that. Pascali is the first one, but he saw the opportunity there on the inside as those two were side by side, and Moyton backed off, and that allowed Pascali just to make it through into the first corner. So he makes it past Roland Moyton. There's now ruleless contact from behind from Rick Jan there, as Moyton, he's struggling so far. He was having a good race, but unfortunately getting stuck behind the 2 manners, or just the word manner, is unfortunately very much affecting Roland Moyton in this race. Now this is interesting. Now Willows is on the back of Jay Mackenzie here. Now Mackenzie could do Nella a favour here, and because Mackenzie is not pitting for quite a few laps yet, so Mackenzie could try and help Nella at this moment in time. But let's not forget, Carr at the moment is still leading this race, and he is on the 2 stopper. So Mackenzie, I don't think he's in the shout for a chance of the win, but I think Carr could possibly be in for the chance of the win here, because he's got a fairly quite a big gap over Mackenzie, and he's much slower than Willows, so he's going to hold him up for probably a lap or so that could give Carr a bit more of a gap. As now Moyton once again still trying to get past the Manor, but he's swapped to the inside, yes, but the Manor robustly defends on the entrance to the corner there. Now surely Moyton is going to try and go the inside, and the Manor goes in the pits there just to annoy him, and now Ricciardo is going to go past Moyton into turn 1, and if he does, Moyton is going to be cursing and swearing and doing what else to those manners. And yes, Jan makes it through up into P13, and oh dear, Moyton was having such a good race at the start. Unfortunately, he has been screwed over by the manners. As now here is a crucial battle. Willows is now on the back of Jay Mackenzie. Nella has closed the gap. It's down to 2.5 seconds. So at the moment he's doing him a favour. Still needs to defend, but Mackenzie doesn't really defend into the final corner. Will Willows make it stick? The answer is no, he doesn't. So that is good news for Nella. That gives him a chance to catch up. But Willows could make the move into the final corner, the first corner having failed to do it in the final corner. Will he make it on the inside? And the answer is no. He defends. The gap now down to 1.9 seconds. Nella is coming because Mackenzie's doing him a favour at the moment. Here is Mikos Gal, who has passed Michael Mocho in the sister car into the final corner. So Gal on the inside and makes it stick pretty comfortably. Now here is Willows. Does he make it through on Mackenzie here? Look at the speed he's got coming into the corner, and oh my word, he absolutely plows into the back of Mackenzie there, and he really didn't want to be stuck behind him, and Willows just about managing to keep the car. But now Nella needs to get past Mackenzie ASAP. Team orders need to be put through here. And Nella on the inside, and he makes it up into P3. The gap to Willows is 2 seconds, so it's not quite worked. I mean, it's somewhat worked, but obviously Nella needs to get past Mackenzie, I think just straight away, really. But he has, but the gap is about 2 seconds, so we'll see if it changes or not. Now here is Etienne Jones on the back of Felix Sontag in the Sauber, who sadly has struggled this race ever since the first lap, getting involved with hitting the back of Glazebrook on the first lap before the first corner. Jones moves up into 16th position, Sontag down to 18th, and Hutter at the moment last in 19th position. So we've still got 19 cars running at this moment in time, as we look at Rick Yan, who is closing up to the back of Michael Mocho, heading towards the final corner. And I think he could have a run on him into the first corner, because Mocho didn't get a good exit out of the final corner, so Yan is going to surely make the move on Michael Mocho into the first corner, just about side by side between the two. And will Yan make a late move? No, does he? The answer is no, he can't quite make a stick there, so let's stay behind him for another few corners. He's not going to be close enough to overtake here, is he? Unless he does a Willows and just barges him out of the way, which he might do. And yes, he has, although I don't think it's worked. And no, it hasn't. It has not worked, and he can't get past Mocho there. Oh wow, that was close. That was very, very close. Doesn't make it stick there, so he's going to have to wait until the next straight, or have to wait until the other straight before the final corner. So at the moment, it looks like Willows is getting away from Nella once again. So I think that was probably Nella's last hope, really, of winning this race. But I mean, we've still got plenty of laps to go. You never know. We had car failures on the last lap to lead us before, i.e. Nescu in China we've had. So you never know. It could easily happen. But at the moment, here is Yan still all over the back of Michael Mocho, and I don't think he's going to be quite close enough, is he, to overtake here? Not sure. Mocho really defends the inside, so that will give Yan the slipstream down the front straight, and he'll surely make the move into the first corner. He's now going alongside the two, alongside Michael Mocho, and I think he's got the move done because he's pretty much passed him just as they've gone past the start finish straight. Now into the first corner, and Yan has got it. So a bit longer than he wanted to, but he's done it nonetheless. So that is him up into P6. So as you look at Nella and Willows, the gap I think was probably about the same, about 3 seconds I think. At this moment in time there is Anderson still running in 10th, and obviously, but he'll be pitting in a few laps time. At the moment, Carr is still leading. He's not got that many laps until he pits, as a matter of fact. But it was like, I think the gap was like 7 seconds before, and it's down to 3, so I think Carr needs to go a little bit faster, because I think Willows and Nella will both be coming for him soon. But as I said, this could be a chance for Nella if Carr can hold Willows up. I mean, they're not on the same team, but we'll see what happens as Lopez goes past Pascali, heading through turns 1, 2 and 3. Now Moichin is going to try and go past the dreaded Pascali, who he's been battling with and stuck behind for most of this race. He's on the inside, doesn't make it stick, he goes wide, so surely Moichin's got the move, has he? Nope, because Pascali's got the momentum through the corner. He has to stick behind him yet again. So he's going to have to wait another few corners if he wants to make a move on the back of him. So as we look at the top 5, look at the rest of the order. So Willows, and there's Carr, and he's got a manor in front of him. So and Carr has still got, I reckon, probably about 2-3 laps until he pits. So, I mean, he could still be with a shout here, possibly, but he needs to get past this lap traffic quickly and hope it holds up Willows and Nella, as Florian Volker is coming into his, I imagine, his final stop of the race. I think it will be. And yes, it will.
Pressure.
So he pits for the final time for Ferrari. And it was a 7.3. So Jan has come into the pits as well. So there's we look at the rest of the order. So Jan, he'll come in for his final stop as well for the Pink Panthers. So changes all 4 tyres. We'll go to the end.
No pressure. Just prepare yourself.
And there we go. So he changes all 4, although he has to wait for Tomaselli to go by him there, so that's going to cost Jan some time. So Tomaselli comes in for his final stop of the race, and as I said, Tomaselli has performed pretty well so far, as all those drivers coming into the pits on that lap have pretty much the exact same amount of fuel. They put in enough to go to the end, of course. So as we look now, this is important. Now this is the battle between Carr and Willows for P1. Nella's about 2 seconds off. Willows might overtake Carr into the final corner here, and yes, he has, and wow, he's done that extremely quickly. So they've caught him very quickly, have Willows and Nella, but Carr, I mean, they'll be pitting around about the same time, so you never know. We could still have a 3-way battle for the win here. As we look at Carr coming into the first corner, they've still got a bit of traffic ahead of them, as Carr trying to stick behind the back of Willows. Nella is just there. And into the pits comes the other salver of Felix Sontag, who unfortunately has had a race to forget, really, running down in plumb last, and I don't really think he's going to be able to get anything out of this one. Now, Moitin, who is still stuck behind Pascal, he has been for majority of the race, he just can't get past this pesky car. So as you look, coming through the right-hander before the back straight, and now he's going to have to try and make the move into the final corner. And Moitin's in the slipstream, he's going to make a move on the inside. He's not quite far enough alongside, I think, to make the move, and he's not, but he's going to have the straight to make the move there, although he's not got the best exit, although he's still on the slipstream, so he can still easily make it into the first corner. As they come towards the start-finish line, he's on the inside. He's not quite alongside. Will he make a late diving move? He goes for it, and Moitin does make it through past Pascale, so that's important, because that is actually for position as well. Although Moitin has got slightly less fuel than Pascale has, about 2 laps less, I would say. As we look at Lopez coming across the line, he'll be going to the end on that amount of fuel. So as we look at Carr, who has been passed by Nella, coming through the final corner. So Carr's tyres have really dropped off quite dramatically over these past couple of laps, and he's not pitting this lap, so he'll be pitting on lap 41. As actually will Nella, no, in fact they will both be pitting on the same lap here. Now this could be very, very interesting. So both Nella and Carr pitting on exactly the same lap, as they're both going to try and, I guess, do the undercut on Willows, I guess. So Nella comes in. This will be a pit stop battle. So Nella changes his tyres, although Carr has come in a couple of seconds after, so I think Nella should get out in front, unless he has a terrible stop. Changes all 4 tyres. 8.6, that's not particularly quick, to be honest. Carr did an 8.1. So I think you'll need to hope that Ferrari have a bad stop there, because that wasn't the quickest stop in the world. As Nella comes out in, looks like P3 still. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Carr does come out ahead as well. Heading into the first corner, and the answer is, does he come out ahead? I'm not sure. No, Gal, I think, has come out ahead of Gal, and that's not what he wanted. If he wanted any chance of battling with the top 2, that's exactly what he didn't want, and Gal has pretty much just screwed him completely there, because look at the amount of time he's lost to the cars in front. So, oh dear, Carl will not be happy with that at all. The fact that Gal obviously will be pitting in a couple of laps' time, possibly even this lap as well. As we look at the battle for 13th, this is between Roke and Julius Anderson. Anderson on the inside, does he make it stick? And yes, he does. Moves up into P14, and now Roke is under pressure from Lopez behind him as well. And Lopez now trying to make a move on the inside, and Roke has just got no speed at all in that Haas. Lopez already alongside the car, as I saw there was another driver that's coming to pits this lap. I couldn't quite tell who it was, as Lopez makes it up into P14 past Roke, who drops down another position, and is in fact Willows who is pitting this lap. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's just a battle between him and Nella now. I think Carr is pretty much out of it because of that, because of coming out behind Gal in the stop. When look at that, that's a very quick, that's so much quicker than what Nella did. So Willows is definitely going to come out in a clear, well, in the unofficial lead of the race as he rejoins, as there's Nella just coming across the line now. So Willows takes the lead, or will take the lead of the race. So I mean, at the moment, it looks pretty good for Willows. It really does. As we're looking at, this is the battle for P9. This is between Evan Byrne and Michael Mocho. Although Byrne's locked up a little bit there. He's gone wide, kept it on the circuit, but he's lost a bit of time. So Mocho is right behind him, coming towards the final corner. Byrne defends. Mocho on the inside. No, Byrne really defends and can't make a stick there. So now Mocho will have to surely try into the first corner as Roland Moitian has come in for his final stop of the race. As we're looking at Lopez and Anderson getting very close there into the final corner, and Lopez can't quite make the move stick. Moitian changing his tyres, will be going to the end of course. So where will he kind of I think behind that big battle there. Willows is stuck behind the McLaren there, and will he make it through? He can't make it through here. Nella is he's still quite, he's a few seconds, it's more, the gap is actually bigger than what it was before. Nella, unfortunately, it just doesn't look like he's got the pace to contend with Willows, and Willows has got the pace he needs to contain Nella, really. That is the way it is at this moment in time. Mocho couldn't make it past Byrne into the first corner, so he's going to have to wait. So we're looking at the Force India of Lopez, who's on the back of Julius Anderson, as Mackenzie has come in for his final stop of the race. And Jones has come in as well. Car will take P3, and Volker actually will take P4 as well. So it's been a pretty good race. I think it's been a pretty good race for well, generally at the moment. Certainly if Willows wins, it will be a pretty good race for Ferrari. So there we go, as Mackenzie comes out of the pits, and he'll come out in P5, in a comfortable P5. So we can see if he can close down Volker coming to the end of the race. Here is Mocho all over the back of Byrne. Once again, can't make a stick there, so he's going to have to wait until the first corner. I don't know if, I couldn't see if Byrne actually has to pit or not before the end. As now Lopez once again tries on the inside of Anderson, and he does make it up into 11th position. He's now got Tomaselli just in front of him, so Lopez could actually possibly still have a chance of some points here, although Anderson might try and get Lopez back into the first corner. He's got the slipstream. Will he try and make a move on the inside? Lopez defends. Anderson can't make it stick back there into the first corner, so there's the hold up once again temporarily. So Byrne actually does have to pit, so he will be one of the last drivers to pit in the top 10, so he'll obviously drop out of the points, but we'll see where he recovers to after his stop. At the moment it's looking pretty good for Willows out front, that is for sure. As we look through the rest of the order, Thomas said he will move up into 9th, so Lopez will be in the points once Byrne pits, and he certainly will have more because he's closing up rapidly to the back of Tomaselli in the Sauber, who as I've said many times already, he's had a fantastic race, but I don't think he's going to be able to contend with the power of the Force India, as we know how quick that car is. So at the moment, Willows the gap, it's 4.1 seconds. That's generally what it has been like since the stop, although Nella has got this McLaren. He needs to lap of Roberto Gamma, and he does get through. Car has dropped a bit off Nella, so I don't see him having any chance of getting the win today, and I don't certainly think about getting second either. Roberto Gamma, unfortunately, not had the greatest race. To look at the rest of the order, Volker's there in P4. Mackenzie is quite a bit behind in P5, but I think he'll close up right close to the back of Volker towards the end of the race. Now here is Lopez passing the Sauber of Tomaselli, coming down the pit straight, and he's already way past him. He's now ahead of him into, well, he's up into 9th now, and Lopez moves up another position. So Franco Lopez has had a great recovery and is now into the points. So I wonder if Julius Anderson could have a go at Tomaselli here. Julius Anderson, who's yet to score a point so far this season. Well, yet to finish either, actually. That's the big thing. That's the main thing I think he'll want to do. But he'll want points as well. So he's in 11th place. Roke is a few seconds behind in 12th. And both Anderson and Roke have been on one-stop strategies, I believe. So it's been, and they both have been, I should say, on one-stop strategies. And it's not really worked out particularly well for them, to be honest. That's the way it has been. The two-stoppers, two or three, has been the way to do it. I mean, 3, it's worked for Willows and Nella, but for Roland Moitian, for example, it's not worked out for him at all, as he's now down in 13th. He is outside of the points, but he could still get points out of this race because he's going to have quicker tyres than quite a few of the drivers in front of him, as he's already made one overtake, passes Roke for 12th, so that is a good move there by the Hungarian driver, and he really forced his way through there. So he's up into 12th, and he's not that far off Anderson. He's on quicker tyres than pretty much all these guys around him, so Moitin actually could still be in with a chance of some points here, and here is the battle for 10th position. This is between Anderson and Tomaselli. Moitin only 3.7 behind, but that will be decimated in about a lap or two's time if Anderson can't make a stick on Tomaselli. He's really trying there. Oh, and there's contact, and Tomaselli is out, and Anderson is going to have to go to the pits for a new front wing. So Moitin, he is going to get a point. So that is Tomaselli out of the race, and gutting for him. And you could just see that was going to happen, though. You could just see that something was going to happen at turn 1. They were really trying. Tomaselli trying desperately to defend, and Anderson trying desperately to overtake, and you could see that was going to happen a mile off. So Tomaselli out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's a shame. He was in with a chance of a point, and unfortunately he's going to get nothing today. So you can see he's really defending, and Anderson, he was not gonna back out at all. He needed to, though, because you could just see the corner. Well, Tomaselli had the line into the corner there, and Anderson just clips the back of Tomaselli, and that is his race over. And Anderson, unfortunately, any chance of points have now gone, but he's going to have to pit for a new front wing. So there we go, and the incident is under investigation. So, I mean, let's see what the stewards have to say about that. That is for sure. So as it comes in the pit, so at the moment, so Mocha's in 8th, so Lopez in 9th, so Renault Motion is 10th, Roke is up into 11th, and here's the battle actually for 11th between Pascali and Roke, coming towards the final corner. Pascali inside of Roke, and there's contact, and Roke is sliding on his side, and he's over, and he is upside down. And that's and I mean, I know F1 cars can technically drive upside down due to the aerodynamics they have on them, but unfortunately for Roke, that's not good for him because he can't drive if he has no wheels. So he is out of the race. His car is completely destroyed, and so wow, that was a spectacular crash. We haven't actually had one this race yet, but we finally have. We usually have one every year at the final corner, and it has once again happened. It's been relatively clean this season compared to previous years, but we've finally had that accident at the final corner. So Roke, who I don't really think he was going to get to Moitin, battling with Pascali in the manner, coming into the final corner, and you could just see that was going to happen. Roke sliding on his side there, and eventually rolling over as we look from Roke's point of view. Quite a scary instant there. You can see it just goes on his side and then rolls over. So that is his race over. He is done and dusted literally because it's very dusty around this circuit. So we're looking at Pascali from his point of view on the inside of Roke there. So he was on the inside, and Roke tried to hold it, and Pascali did try and steer to the right, but just braked a bit late. So it was an unfortunate incident there. I think that's just a racing incident between the two. Don't think any penalty would be warranted for that one. But Pascali's spinning, so he won't have any chance of getting a points now. So he's made the move stick, so to speak. He's up into 11th, which is what he wanted to do, although I don't think he wanted to necessarily do it that way, I think. But he moves up anyway into the 11th spot, but he's not going to be able to get Moitin in 10th. But at the moment, Willer's still leading by, the gap was about nearly 5 seconds. Anderson, having pitted, has just passed, I think, Roberto Gamba under yellow flags there, I'm pretty sure. Although they have just gone, but no, he had overtaken them just needed to wait another corner, but Anderson receives a 5-second penalty for passing Roberto Gamba under yellow flags, so that compounds his misery. But he's not really going to get any points because the gap to burn is 20 seconds, so it'll pretty much finish 13th because he'll be able to get the gap to Roberto Gamba behind him there. So there we are. At the moment, the gap between Nello and Willers is about 4.6 seconds. Car right now running on his own in 3rd position, so he'll be pretty happy with that one. But we will, of course, have a new championship leader, because the championship leader before this race was, of course, Franco Lopez, and he's at the moment is only running in 9th position. As here's a battle between Etienne Jones and Roberto Gamba into the final corner, and Jones moves up into 14th position. A race to forget for McLaren, really. That is for sure. So at the moment, Roland Moyton, unfortunately, in 10th position. 3-stop strategy did not work for him at all. Just got held up in so much traffic that it really, really badly affected him. So that's a shame for him. But here is the race leader, Joseph Willows, and I have to say it's been a pretty impressive performance from the Brits, and Anderson has received just a compound of misery even more, as if he didn't want another punch in the stomach. Has received a 50-second time penalty for the incident involving Tomaselli. But as I was saying, Joseph Willows, who was behind Nella, and then he closed up to the back of him and overtook him because Nella couldn't get past traffic, as Pasquale's received a 25-second penalty for the incident with Roque. As I can finally say it again without being interrupted, but Willows has been the best driver today. He's outdone Nella. I have to say, overtook him on track because Nella couldn't get past the traffic, and despite the stops, he withstood any challenge that Nella really had, and he's thoroughly deserved the victory today. And this will be the first race that we have out of 3 this season that the pole man will not have taken victory. Will Nella had taken pole position, but he's not going to take the win today, because coming around the final corner, Willows, he's put in a brilliant performance today, and Joseph Willows comes down the straight for the 57th and final time and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a performance from the Brit there. So Nella comes across the line in 2nd, Pasquale was 11th, Byrne comes across the line in 12th, Amilcar, he'll be pretty happy, I think, with P3, I'd say. So as he comes across the line, P3, Julius Anderson, 13th position, on a bad strategy, and unfortunately it never really got much better for him. Jay McKenzie will come across the line in P4, so that's good. I think he'll be relatively satisfied with that. Volker just behind him in P5. Etienne Jones will take 14th position, ahead of Roberto Gamba. And there is Nicholas Gow actually about to come across the line as well in 6th. A good recovery from him. Roberto Gamba 15th, not the race for McLaren at all. Felix Sontag, I mean, yeah, just not the best race for him either. Joel Hutter as well, obviously got involved in the first lap and never really recovered. 17th, Rick Yan will come across the line in 7th position, although he's got Mocho pretty close behind him, heading across the line. And he's got actually Franco Lopez as well, who's recovered exceptionally well from what the chaos that he was ensued in. So good result for Lopez as well. He'll lose the championship lead, of course. Roland Moyton will come across the line and take 10th position. So pretty gutting for Moyton, because he was running in the top 6 at the start and it just fell apart from him since then. So here are the full race results. Joseph Willows winning ahead of Will Nenner in 2nd, Amilcar in 3rd, Jay McKenzie in 4th, Florian Volker 5th, Miguel Scal 6th, Rick Yan 7th, Franco Lopez 8th, Roland Moyton 9th, and Michael Mocho 10th, of course. I forgot Mocho had a 5-second penalty for overtaking under yellow flags, so Mocho dropping to 10th. Evan Byrne in 11th position, a lap down. The fastest lap set by Will Nenner, 1:28.813. Pasquale down to 12th, having had that 25-second time penalty. Julius Anderson staying in 13th position. Jones in 14th. Roberto Gamba 15th. Felix Sontag 16th. Joel Hutter 17th, with Roque, Tomaselli, now Tiernan, Franco Gamba, and Glazebrook, the drivers who did not finish this race. So here are the drivers' standings and the constructors. So in the drivers' standings, Joseph Willows takes the lead from Franco Lopez, with Amilcar up to 2nd, Florian Volker down into 3rd, Woolner up into 4th, Franco Lopez down to 5th, Gal in 6th, Jay McKenzie 7th, Michael Mocho 8th, Rick Yan in 9th, Thierry now Tiernan in 10th, Roque still in 11th position. As we look at the rest of the order, Tomaselli in 12th, Roberto Gamba 13th, Roland Moyton 14th, Felix Sontag 15th, Joel Hutter 16th, with Evan Byrne, Oliver Glazebrook, Nicolas Pasquale, Franco Gamba, Julius Anderson, and Etienne Jones, the only drivers so far yet to score a point this season. But of course, we've still got plenty of races still to go for that to happen. In the constructors' standings, Ferrari leading by 12 points ahead of Red Bull in 2nd, Mercedes in 3rd, 10 points off, Force India 4th, 11 points off them, Toro Rosso way back in 5th, Renault in 6th, Haas in 7th, Sauber in 8th, McLaren 9th, Williams in 10th, and Manor last with no points in 11th. So there we go, that was a pretty exciting Bahrain Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to, as usual, hope you drop down and give the race rating out of 10. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you for the next round, the Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi Street Circus. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you there.